Waking up in a strange new place with no memory of his past life, Kelvin learns that he's bartered away those very memories in exchange for powerful new abilities during his recent transmigration, heading out into a whole new world as a summoner, with his first follower being the very goddess who brought him over. Kelvin begins his new life as an adventurer, and it isn't long before he discovers his hidden disposition as a battle junkie. From the Black Knight of the ancient castle of evil spirits to the demon within the hidden cave of the sage, he revels in the fight against one formidable foe after another. Join this opus adventurer in an exhilarating and epic saga as he and his allies carve their way into the annals of history. In exchange for his memories, a man named Kelvin was given the chance to get reincarnated into another world with some overpowered skills. He died because of a mistake made by the gods, and because of that, his encounter with the goddess of reincarnation occurred. For the wish of a new and prosperous life in another world, Kelvin accepted this offer, and when he woke up, he found himself in the middle of a jungle filled with otherworldly creatures. He got a status screen open, from which he started the instruction menu. He heard a female voice, which instructed him to check his stats. From there, Kelvin realized that he had started his journey from the very beginning, with his class being a summoner. Now that things were all cleared, Kelvin headed to the nearby town in order to become an adventurer and start his journey. On his way, Kelvin was told about his previous life, which was taken away by mistake by a god, who then went to Melfina, the goddess of reincarnation. She was then asked by Kelvin to accompany him on his journey, as he had fallen for her. In the end, they had reached the city, where he was continuously talking with Melfina. The town folks thought of him as crazy, and Kelvin understood that. He ran away and reached the guild. Kelvin went there and filled up the registration form. But before he could fill up his class details, Melfina told him that summoners are pretty rare to be found in this world, almost one per nation. On top of that, he's an S rank, which will definitely draw the attention of the rulers towards him. Understanding that fact, Kelvin decided to fill up his class as a green mage. After a while, he was given his F rank guild membership card and was told about the basic guild rules by the guild lady Aegis. He then asked for some low rank quests and selected the one to defeat Blue Slime. Before going out on his quest, he bought a wooden rod as a weapon. They went to the fields and saw some slime. Melfina told him that in order to summon a creature, he needs to lower their health and then offer them the contract for being a summon of his. He used his S-ranked appraisal eye and checked the slime's stats. Kelvin decided to attack them physically, as using magic would kill the slime. He attacked them, but they all evaded the attacks and counterattacked on him. After a while, Kelvin understood that the slimes were escaping because of their high agility. He used his high-speed attack and lowered the slime's HP. He then used the summon's contract and successfully absorbed the slime. He named it Clotho and realized that it was happy that the master could talk to his summons. Kelvin called Clotho out and told him to desynthesize the cores of other slimes by absorbing them. He used magic against them, while Clotho defeated them themselves. He was getting a lot stronger because of his master's S rank, which is giving him a 100 level buff. He got overwhelmed knowing about it. Now that their first quest was completed, they went back to the guild and received their reward. On his way to the inn, Kelvin saw a slave trader in an alley. He thought of buying one of them and keeping it as a party member. There, a half-elf got his attention, but he didn't say anything and went to the inn. He found the Spirit Song Inn, where he met the owner, Claire. He took a room and asked her about a meal. She prepared a tasty dinner for him. Kelvin enjoyed the food while thinking about the unknown adventures that are waiting for him in this new world. 1 week had passed, and using his double growth rate skill along with the double experience skill, Kelvin was able to unlock another skill set, for which he chose a skill called Concealment to hide his true nature so that he could live a life without getting too much unnecessary attention. Later, when he reached the guild, he was told that he had achieved the E rank as a summoner. The people around him were suspicious. He did not want to gather people's attention but had done the same unknowingly. Ange asked about him being a court mage in the past, as he's very strong for a beginner. Kelvin told her that he had no memory of his past. He asked for a rank D quest, for which a man standing nearby came to him. His name was Cashel, and he suggested Kelvin accompany his party to defeat the Black Ghost Knight. Ange is worried about him, as the Black Ghost Knight is reported to be a lot stronger than others. Kelvin declined his offer, telling him that he would only back him down as he's still a rookie. He checked Cashel's stats and found them to be equal to Clotho's, but his title, Murderer, got his attention. He understood that this Cashel guy was not up to good things, and in order to handle him, Kelvin ended up challenging him for a race to defeat the Black Ghost Knight. Cashel accepted this challenge and went out of the guild to meet his party members. He asked them if they had gotten any information on Kelvin, for which they had nothing because of his high-level concealment skills. Later, they went to the Wicked Spirit's castle and found all the undead monsters to be defeated. They were shocked, as they had never expected anyone to be faster than them. Kelvin came out and told them that he knew about them. They thought of him as a bounty hunter, as both of Cashel's party members were criminals. He provoked the man named Raj, who ran straight into him and got caught in his trap called Mudvine. He then attacked him with wind magic. Seeing that, the other party member got terrified and ran away. Kelvin summoned Clotho there. Clotho, who had now evolved into a slime Glutenia, chased Gimel back inside and defeated him as well. Raj escaped from the trap but got handled by Clotho. Kelvin took down Cashel and went in to defeat the Black Ghost Knight. Inside, he saw the Black Ghost Knight, Gerard, at level 53, standing there waiting for him. Kelvin told him that he had come here to defeat him but had now changed his mind and wanted him to join his party. Later, Gerard told Kelvin that he was the first person to talk to him after a very long time, as people usually just ran into him with swords. He told him that he used to be a knight and protected his country very long ago. Kelvin got fed up with his talks and asked him about the summoning contract that he had presented. Gerard said that he wanted to serve a new king, and to become king, Kelvin challenged Gerard to prove himself. The battle with Kelvin and Clotho against Gerard began. All of them were giving their fullest on both offense and defense. Kelvin used a spell called Air Pressure, which pushed Gerard onto the ground. Gerard went against the spell and suddenly remembered his life in the country of Alcarl. One day, an elf named Jidora came to their king and told him to offer his nation. The king refused, and on that, the elf threatened him that they would face the consequences. Soon, the whole nation fell ill from some unknown disease, and everyone died. Gerard was broken, as both his wife and daughter were deceased. He was the only living soul that remained in the nation, and so he left. The feeling of vengeance for his country pushed him forward. He broke the spell and attacked Kelvin. He blocked off Gerard's attacks and used Clotho to land the final blow. The next day, he went to the guild with a fragment of the Black Ghost Knight's armor and received the reward for it. Everyone was happy as Cashel and his party of criminals got caught. They all celebrated his victory. Ange told him that the guild master personally wanted to congratulate him for his victory against the Black Ghost Knight. He went ahead and saw the guild master waiting for him. The guild master exchanged greetings with Kelvin and asked him a totally unexpected question. At the beginning of his story, he asked if Kelvin had come from another world. Kelvin used his appraisal eye and saw that the guildmaster himself had an rank appraisal eye, because of which he could see Kelvin's real identity. He confirmed that Kelvin's a summoner. Kelvin did not want to answer that, but Gerard told him to not hide his true identity from potential allies, and on that, Kelvin confirmed it. He asked Leo, the guildmaster, if he would have known about Cashel and his party members being criminals. Leo knew about it and said that it was a troublesome job for them to deal with, as Cashel's a noble from the military nation of Trison. But now that he had been exposed, they were sure to take strict action against him. They got to the main topic, where Leo told him that he had met the heroes that were summoned from another world. In the Holy Empire of Durames, the priestess summoned the heroes as she had heard the prophecy of God about the revival of the Demon King. Melfina told him that she was the one who had reincarnated the heroes. Now that the heroes are focused on the Demon King, Leo wanted Kelvin to protect them from the monsters that are attacking the country, as the guild does not have members who can clear B rank or higher jobs, and for that reason, he decided to provide him with financial aid along with increasing his adventurer rank so that he could take up higher ranking jobs as well. He then asked Kelvin the reason for hiding his true identity, and he answered it himself by saying that he wanted to save himself from political power struggles. Now that they know about each other, the rewards for his work are favorable, and for that, Kelvin accepted his offer and decided to work with him. Back at the inn, Kelvin told Claire about his promotion to a higher rank. She was overjoyed and decided to cook special food for him. He went up and asked Melfina about the heroes while having lunch. She told him about the summoning ritual performed by the priestess of Durames, and because of that, she summoned some kids into this world a while ago. Kelvin took the money bag and went out to buy a slave so that he could increase his strength by having a strong party. There, he saw a man on fire who was rescued by the slave trader. The man went away, cursing the cursed slave girl. The trader told him about the half-elf being cursed. Kelvin used appraisal eye and saw her as being cursed by a fire dragon king's curse. He asked Melfina about it, and she told him to use a sacred blessing spell. Kelvin set out to get the spell. Later, Kelvin came back and bought Ethel. The slave trader warned him, but he got her anyway. On the way to the inn, they both introduced each other, and Kelvin asked her to join his party. She was afraid because of her curse, but Kelvin used the sacred bless spell and broke the curse. She started crying, as it was her first time touching someone without hurting them. She was sold off as a slave when she was born and didn't know anything about her curse either. She thanked him, and they went to the inn. At the inn, Kelvin asked for the food, but Claire refused, saying that she first wanted to clean Ethel and dress her properly. She took Ethel and later came out with her dressed in a maid outfit. Kelvin praised her and had food with her. After the food, he told her about Melfina, Clotho, and Gerard as his summons. He gave her the double growth rate and double skill points as her skills. But at night, things got messy as there were no rooms available with 2 beds, so they had to share one. Now that almost 1 month had passed, Kelvin and his party were improving from there on. In the dark purple forest, they were all killing monsters. Ethel had her archery skills along with the far-seeing skills. She used the Fire Dragon King's grease and combined them all to use blaze arrows. With that, she killed the wicked Sagatree. They had cleared off 9 quests in a row, and with that, they were soon going to reach Ranka. They also discussed the mock exam that Ethel passed with a breeze. Ange told her about a new sweet shop that had opened recently and invited her. Ethel invited Kelvin too, and all of them agreed to meet tomorrow. The next day, Kelvin went there and found Ange. Soon Ethel came too, and both of them praised her dress and her looks too. They went to the sweet shop and ordered some sweets. Both the girls tried to feed Kelvin from their hands, and after hearing that, the locals started whispering various rumors. Just then, Tabra, the 3rd prince of Trison, kicked their table and reminded him of the law that commoners cannot have romance in public. Kelvin defeated his guards and used air pressure, then asked the prince his reason for coming into Parth. He wanted to make the strong adventurer serve him so that he could increase his dominance in his kingdom. Kel defeated him as well, and the scene shifted to the great cathedral of the Holy Empire of Daramis. The priestess named Colette is called Melfina. She heard her plea and asked about the heroes she had reincarnated for her. She showed her a magic ball in which all of their personal details were stored. Colette asked for an oracle, to which Melfina instructed her to send the heroes to the western continent and to keep them away from Parth. At night, Kelvin decided to buy a house as things were getting out of his hands. The next day, the party was checking the heroes' stats. Melfina had returned as well. She told them that she was disappointed with the growth of the heroes, as the maximum they had reached was level 53. Compared to them, Kelvin and his team were doing a lot better. His blacksmithing skill had improved a lot, and because of that, he had made an A-rank staff out of the wicked Sagatree for himself, an A-rank dreadnought for Gerard, and some other B-rank equipment. While they were discussing it, Claire arrived and told Kelvin that the guild had called him. The scene shifted to Leo and Kel, where he was being informed about a demon witnessing in a rank D dungeon called the Hermit's Cave. In a sealed room, the demon was sensed. Leo told him that this quest could turn out to be an S-rank quest. He also mentioned the incident with Prince Tabra. Kel changed the topic and agreed on going to the Hermit's Cave. At the Hermit's Cave, Kel meets Erd, who explains the situation to him. Knowing about it, Kel decided to put Ethel in the back and go down with Gerard and Clotho. In the secret room, they found the sealed door, which they opened and went inside. There, they saw a demon girl hanging with chains around her. They were welcomed by Archdemon Victor. Kel asked about the girl, but Victor first sealed the door, then told her that she's the daughter of the Demon King Gustav. Out of the 3 previous Demon Kings, Gustav was the most recent one. Victor told him that it was his trap to lure humans in so that they could break the chains of the Demon King's daughter. His plan was to devour the humans to gain their power to reawaken Sira. It was his skill called Gluttony with which he would inherit human abilities, and then he would devour Sira to become the next Demon King. He attacked the party and Gerard blocked him. Seeing his overwhelming power, Kelvin became excited, as he now had an S-rank enemy to fight with. Victor asked him the reason for the wicked smile on his face. Kel told him the truth, hearing Victor summon the Hades army using his black magic. Kel was impressed by it, and thus the battle began. The summoned monsters were of almost B rank, which Kel defeated with his wind strikes. Gerard, on the other hand, also took down a lot of them, but they kept on coming. Kel cleared his side of enemies and went to Victor. Victor wanted to wipe the grin off of his face, and for that, he punched the ground and hid in the dust cloud. From there, he went to the ground and attacked them from behind. Gerard blocked the attacks, but Victor was using his other arm to attack Kelvin as well. Kel was holding him off too, but then Victor pushed away Gerard and focused on Kel. Kel dodged most of his attacks but was about to get bitten by him. Just then, Clotho came in and got one of Victor's arms. He used magic absorption and took away Victor's magic. Kel used Glory Sanctuary and caught one of its arms. Gerard came back. Kel assisted him with Vortex Edge, but there was something that Victor had hidden from them. One of his arms was still immersed in the ground. He took it behind Kel to attack him, but Kel had something as well. Stealth Ethel came behind Victor and used the Blaze Arrow, which Victor blocked with his hand and got petrified. Jared completed his attack and severed Victor's other arm. Kel called back his party, and Victor transformed into a monstrous being using Jin's scrimmage. To prevent his complete transformation, all of them used their most powerful attacks but failed to stop Victor. The final phase of the battle began with Victor rushing into them. Kel grew up with a rock shield, but it broke, so Gerard came forward and protected the party. He got beaten, but Ethel backed him up, and then Clodo attacked him with cursed weapons that he had stored. These were the failed weapons that Kelvin had created. Kel used the Radiant Lancer along with Ethel's Blaze Arrow and Clotho's Beam too. Victor saw Sira and took the attack on him. The attack broke the roof, and Sira was about to get crushed. Victor went to her place and protected her with his own body. Kel went to him and asked him why he had lied to them. He told them that he wouldn't have fought him fiercely if he had told her the truth. It all began several hundred years ago when the Demon King gave Sira's responsibility to Victor. She was kept as a secret to protect her from his enemies. In a huge mansion, she used to live alone. Victor trains her and gives her meals, and her father comes to meet her too. But in the end, the heroes go into his castle and defeat him. Before his demise, Gustav gave Victor the responsibility to look after his daughter, and to prevent her from being found, he put up a seal on her that only humans could break, so anyone except the hero would not be able to hurt her. Victor, on the other hand, wanted Princess Sira to be the next Demon King in the end, but his plans failed. As his last wish, Victor asked Kelvin to let Sira join his party as he's a strong and trusted person. Kel offered him to form a contract as well, but Victor refused, saying that his loyalty only lies with the Demon King. With these last words, Victor died. Kelvin went to her and broke the seal. Sira woke up and started crying. A camouflaging hairband comes down, which the Demon King had prepared for her. With that, her horns and wings got hidden. Kel took her on his back and went out. He showed her a piece of Victor's armor as proof of the defeated demon and told Sira to be a member of the first party that had gone there. Gerard was acting strange. He soon evolved into an Abyssal Knight commander with some terrific stats. Sira, on the other hand, was feeling a bit nervous as it was her first time coming out of the mansion. Kel and Ethel supported her, and they all went to the town together. There, Sira got overexcited by seeing all the new things that she had never seen before. Kel went to Leo, who had promoted him to rank A, but when he came back to Inn, he found that Ange had held a party for his promotion. People were enjoying it while he realized that people were being suspicious about his relationship with Sira, as she's the new girl. At midnight, when everyone was asleep, Kel looked for Sira, who was sitting outside, remembering her late caretaker, Victor. She was happy to come outside. She remembered the promise that he had made to teach her to swim in the ocean. It's still her dream, for which she's ready to work hard. Now, with Kel's newly formed agreement with Sira, he had an additional team member to support. Both Kel and Ethel had successfully achieved rank S in their blacksmithing and sewing skills. This mastery allowed Kel to construct a gauntlet-based weapon named Erendite from Victor's armor for Sira, while Ethel created Queen's Terror. For Gerard, a new blade entitled Daneslave was crafted. Despite his accomplishments, Kel was left with a craving for rice, a food unknown in their world. The Gyrup decided to go to the water country of Toraj, a place where a rice-like plant grows. He will also fulfill his promise of showing Sira the whole world. They were all going in carriage. They crossed a river and Sira got excited. Kel told her that they'd do fishing together when they got to Toraj. Gerard reminded him that Melfina is missing. She had gone to get an avatar for herself, with which she could be summoned and move freely as well. On the way, their carriage was stopped by a band of thieves called the Black Wind. They were all under level 35, so Kel sent Sira to take care of them and asked her not to use Erendite as she wouldn't need it. She went out and defeated all the bandits and tied them up. It was a piece of cake for her as she was at level 75. The leader of the bandits threatened them by telling them about their boss, who's a level 70, but it didn't work on Kelvin. Finally, they reached the water country of Toraj, which seemed a lot like old Japan. Sira saw the ocean and asked Kelvin to teach her swimming. Ethel wanted to learn as well, and Kel agreed. They went to the Toraj Adventurers Guild, where the guildmater thanked them for defeating the Black Wind and told them that Leo had told her a lot about them as they were in the same party 20 years ago. She then told him about the Black Wind being engaged in slave trading, as a lot of kidnappings had been occurring in Toraj. Kel decided to take them down, but in order to prevent any international political problems, he decided to do it in the name of the heroes who had just arrived in the city. This told the heroes about the Black Wind. The leader, Kanzaki, decided to stop them, but her party members wanted to complete the main mission. They ended up getting the job of saving the kidnapped people. Kel and his party went to the Black Wind's hideout, where they defeated all the guards and protected the slaves. They went to fight the higher-ups and had an upper hand throughout the fight. The party of heroes came to the hideout. They sensed the presence of the kidnapped people and went in. There, they saw Clotho. A little girl prevented the hero from attacking him, saying that it was the pet of the adventurer who had saved them. The mother of that girl requested that the hero help the adventurers defeat the bandits of this lair. They went into the last room, as all the other ones were empty. There they saw the actual bandits lying on the ground and thought them to be the Ranka adventurers. They went further in and found Kelvin and his party and thought them to be the Black Wind bandits.